beautiful sight. I was outside here trying to keep the rain off the camera and keeping my hands from freezing, and my wife's in there working. She's studying to be a nurse, nursing school, and keeping a nice warm fire. What do we do with those ashes? Let's talk about that. In permaculture, inputs should equal outputs. It should be a closed loop. What does that really mean? It means that we should, things that we need, we should provide ourselves. If we have a fire, for example, we should provide our own firewood. But then we have an output from that. What is the output? Well, ashes, basically. So we can throw those away. They become pollution. But what if we reuse them? It's the same thing with animals. We use the animals for food, maybe, for their eggs. We use the animal for their fur, for wool from a sheep. But we have their manure, and we have other things that we get from that animal, and we should use that for fertilizer as well. So we're going to show you a little example. We have our wood-burning fireplace here in the house, and what do we do with the ashes? In Sweden, you can almost think of it as a tree farm. We have lots and lots of trees and forest. And there's a lot of birch. Birch is actually a hardwood, northern forest hardwood. So we get a lot of ash left over from making our fires. And as I said, if we just throw it away, take it to the recycling center, then they just throw it away. But we use it for fertilizer. Go outside and spread some out in the garden and see how it works. So here's our bucket full of ashes. They're nice and cold. We don't want to be spreading hot ash. We don't want to be spreading hot ash over our garden. But as long as they're dry as well, we can put our hand in there if they're wet. The old way of making soap was to take wood ash, soak it in water, and get the lye out of it. So if we had wet ashes, we could burn ourselves. But now they're dry. I can just take a handful and spread it over the garden. It's a little bit messy here. Mess is creation. I'm not going to spread too much on one area because we don't want things to burn. But now that we have a little bit of rainy weather, it'll go down into the earth a little bit better. We've been burning a little bit of paper in there, which maybe isn't the best thing. So you see a lot of ash in there that's not quite burned. But that'll go into the earth really well. So I'm going to come down here and just do that with the rest of our things. Fertilize the earth, not the plant. We're going to talk a little bit here in a few minutes about some permaculture. We're going to talk here in a few minutes a little bit about some permaculture ethics and what does it mean to be a permaculturist. So now it looks like we just kind of came out and made a mess. The leaves were all raked down, as I showed you in the earlier video, but now the ash is spread out as even as I could get it. The wind will blow it around a little bit, but eventually the rain will work it down into the soil and fertilize the soil. And that's what permaculture is about, helping the soil.